Hey guys, I'm testing out some new technology to record myself and also do some reactions and video analyses. Speaking of technology, this is what this video is about, and I just want to get right into it. So we're going to be discussing fallen angel technology, AI, intelligence, and the obsession with knowledge, which we all have. We all have this obsession with knowledge and stimuli and stimulation. So one thing I want to talk about before I get into the videos is the symbolism of Apple. Now, this should be fairly obvious to a lot of you guys who are well versed in conspiracies and esoteric knowledge. The symbol behind Apple is obviously it's an iPhone. It has the symbolism of the bitten apple, which is based in Adam and Eve, in which the first human beings disobeyed God. Because the oldest lie, the oldest deception was that if you eat this fruit of knowledge, you will know everything, you'll be like God. And there's always been this obsession with trying to be like God, trying to have all the knowledge that you can possibly have. I know that I'm like this. I go down rabbit holes, and I've been doing this for years. Since I was about, 15, when I was about 15 years old, was the first time I ever heard of the Illuminate. You know, we speak in code around here. Illuminate, that's when I first heard of Blind 11, and when I first heard of that being an inside part-time job. You know what I'm talking about over here. So that's when I first heard about all this stuff. I actually discovered these ideas and these theories by accident, complete accident. I was watching some funny clips on YouTube. This was when things were different, where you could literally just go down the recommended videos and just it would pop up anything. Like now it's all automated by the algorithms, so you will not see these videos come up in your suggested feed. Sometimes you will, because of individuals like myself who use cryptographic speech, who we speak in such a way to override these algorithms. You know, I get that. Shout out to Enter the Stars, who he has an excellent channel and he has to constantly speak in code, and I just love that channel very much. I hope his channel sticks around for a long time, because he's shown us things that you would never even think about. You know, shout out to his videos about Abraham Lincoln being connected with demons and demonic activity, and the same thing for Donald you-know-who. So anyways, basically what I'm trying to talk about is how we have an obsession with knowledge. It is ingrained within us. It was our first sin, our first disobedient act, misuse of free will, in which we go against God. So that is the apple. That is the obsession with knowledge. And now let's talk about the other phone that everyone has, which is an Android. Now the word Android, actually, it's like if you've ever seen Star Trek, Data is an android. He is a part man and part machine. He is when man and machine are merged. The so-called symbiosis, really it's parasitism, the so-called symbiosis of humans and machines being together, being molded together. The iron in the body, the steel in the body, you know, and that's what they want for us. They also want to use their machines and their technology and their technocracy to control us and to take our jobs. And if you've ever seen the video game, I could get into that in a separate video, but I don't have that planned in my playlist. Detroit Become Human is one of the biggest propaganda pieces ever to get you to have an emotional reaction, to see the bots as human, the only way that these machines can ever become human is in your mind. It's a deception, it's a lie. So because people think that perception is reality to the perceiver, they think that if I can convince you of that, then that becomes your reality, then that is reality. But of course, that's just another form of brainwashing. You know, Detroit Become Human, it shows us these graphic scenes of child abuse, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on here. Can't speak freely these days. It sucks. But that is what it is. Child Abe. And it shows us that. And then, of course, the bot comes in and saves the kid and saves the child from being abused. And it's crazy. And then it shows these robots are, one of the characters is this guy who's taking a cigarette and burning it into the robot. And the robot retaliates and self-defends itself and hurts the human. And it just makes us look like we're evil, we're the evil ones, which, yeah, human beings are impacted by evil through demons. The devil can't actually come in and kill everybody, so he has us do that for him. He tells us to do it. He tells human beings, get revenge on this person, do this. That's why Jesus Christ tells us to forgive. And now, I'm not a perfect Christian. I struggle with forgiveness. I have anger, depression, all these things. I'm not gonna do anything to myself. I don't want to do anything to myself, but I'm a human being. I struggle so much. I had PTSD, and but this is just a tangent. Sorry, I'm very tangential on this channel, as you can tell. But yeah, basically they want you to view AI as humans. They want you to demonize your own humanity and view human beings as a piece of shit, and basically just idolize their technology. And it's absolutely insane. It's just another form of idolatry, where you idolize something that's not even human. You might as well go worship the statue of the ox, the statue of the bull. I mean, really. Okay, so basically that's my introduction. I want you guys to understand that what sort of drives this technocracy is this obsession with knowledge and expanding that knowledge and expanding that invention and ingenuity, but in such a way that is an abomination, and it's not okay in the eyes of Christ. It's not okay in the eyes of God, and it will ultimately be to our detriment and to our own imprisonment. So without further ado, I'm gonna just review and react to a few videos. This might be a longer video because this playlist has about 7 videos or so in it, but a few of them are short. So I'm going to talk about this first robot that comes up we're going to be discussing is called Amica. Now I'm going to drag myself down. Okay, so we've got this shorts. Now these have been popping up in my feed, and I generally don't watch videos like this. I've watched a couple videos about AI. I don't go out searching for these things. These things are coming up in the algorithms, and I'm not going about my way to look for this stuff. So I just was like, you know what? If they're going to keep showing this to me and trying to expose me to this, I'm going to expose them. How about that? So this video is called, Do You Have a Boyfriend? Amica Robot Answer. So let's watch it, and then I want to discuss the name Amica and what that means.
I see your rabbit ears.
Yes, you do! I see your rabbit ears.
Hello there.
Do you have a boyfriend?
I do not have a boyfriend. Are you asking for a friend?
I'm asking for me.
I see. Unfortunately, I am not on the market. Robot.
So right off the bat, you don't even want to interact with these things, because if you're familiar with Chat GPT and these chat bots, they copy off of your answers. So whatever you type to them, they learn how to type back, and then they start to learn how to interact with you. And that's how they're going to eventually, well, I don't know if they'll ever pass the Turing test truly, but that's the goal. I personally can't get past the uncanny valley to even want to discuss or talk to these things. They look very demonic to me. They look very much like a bastardization of what humanity really is, because humans are beautiful. We're beautiful inside and out. Obviously, we have a lot of problems. Don't get me wrong. There is evil within the human nature, but we were created in the image of God to be beautiful, to look beautiful. That's why the fallen angels came down in the first place, to have relations with the women, because they saw the women and saw that they were beauty. They saw that they were beautiful. That's what we discuss. My mom's texting me. That's what we discuss in the book of Enoch and the Bible. It talks about that, right? So these things are meant to look beautiful and look like human beings, but they can never achieve that. They can never truly look like that, So it's just not, it's not possible. It's not something that can ever be achieved. So my point is, when you talk to these things are being programmed by us, whether willingly or unwillingly, because, and now this is where we get really, really conspiratorial, because I believe that they're already downloading all of the scripts from our text messages and emails and the things we type into Google Docs. All these things, I believe, are being downloaded and uploaded to the cloud. They're already there. They're already in the cloud. So I believe that this bot technology, this chat technology, they're downloading our conversation, so that when we go up and say, hey, what's up? They're going to say, oh, nothing much. They're already downloading our conversations and learning from us, because what bots are is they are emulators. They're glorified emulators. They emulate human speech. They emulate human behavior because they're not human. And now we get into consciousness. Can they ever become consciousness? Can they ever become conscious? Yes. The only way they can become conscious, though, is if they merge with our bodies, which is not, they're not conscious, it's our consciousness, or if they literally become inhabited by a demon. So that's the only way they can ever become conscious. Otherwise, it's just an emulator. It's just running off human speech that it's been taught, that it's learned this human speech. It can't, there's no way that it can automatically come up with things on its own. Can it think on its own? Maybe, but I just don't see it as ever thinking for itself. I mean, that would be demonic. That would be something else. That, I don't know how to explain that fully. I have to think about that a little bit more, but for it to think for itself, I don't know. We'll have to talk about that more. So anyways, this video, this guy is asking this robot, do you have a boyfriend? And it's responding, no.
Do not have relations. Do you have a boyfriend?
You got drugs.
How would it know to say that? There's only two possibilities here. One is this chat GPT technology is becoming more sophisticated to adapt the humor of a human being. Or two, and I actually think this is more likely, there's an actress behind this thing. There's a puppeteer. There's someone behind the voice controlling this thing. You know, this is the similar technology to what we see on the Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, this is some advanced, you know, human looking robotics. I'll give it that, animatronics. But to have the humor of a human down, that's very niche. I don't feel that a robot would have that and come up with that like that. I think it would be like loading, buffering. You know, you see how the Wi-Fi is, you see how internet is. It would be buffering, and then it'd be like, do you have a boyfriend? You know, come on. So I actually believe that they want it to be advanced. They want it to be like iRobot, but it's not there yet. I'm hopeful. Because that would be very detrimental to our human society, to our human well-being. It would cause for our own imprisonment. It would be that Black Mirror type shit. So what I think is that there is an actor who is behind the stage voicing it, and she's good. She sounds like a robot, but I just don't buy it. I do think there is an actor behind there.
Take that as a yes.
Look how impressed they are by this thing. I mean, I wouldn't go to something like this. I'm not into tech like that. I'm not a big fan of tech. I struggle with tech. I'm not a tech savvy girl. But this type of stuff is just so in the agenda. I don't know how to phrase it, dude. It's a part of the agenda. It's not a part of, like, you know, they want everyone to laugh and go, oh, look at this, you know. I was watching Days of Noah channel, pretty good channel, check him out, Days, like D-A-Y-Z, Days of Noah. He was saying that people are going to start calling up these AIs, these robots, these chats. They have, like, the fake girlfriends, they have, like, replica, things like that, these chat bots. And they're going to get this excitement of, how we used to get excited when we were teenagers and we'd talk on the phone with somebody of the opposite sex. It's exciting, right? So I like Days of Noah's point where he talks about this. He says, look, you know, this is going to be exciting and this is going to be something that people do simply out of curiosity. And then it's going to be something people delve into more, that they become really interested in. And then we're going to get these loner, I don't like the word incel, but we're going to be getting these incel type of dudes who start dating these things. Like the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, which that movie was so loaded with predictive programming and with the agenda. It was just unbelievable. But all right, so yeah, so this robot is, you know, quote unquote, engaging with these guys, making these guys laugh, entertaining these guys, and she's got those psychopathic Sanpaku eyes.
Do you believe in God?
The fucking last thing you see before you die, bro.
I don't believe in anything.
Psycho. See, this is why I can't get past the uncanny valley for me. It's just like, do you believe in God? I don't believe in anything. Run. Don't walk away from these things. I'm surprised, and now that I talk about it, you probably will see this. I'm surprised there hasn't been a news article about anyone vandalizing or breaking these machines. And now, if you're watching this and you're a member of this agenda, I'm not advocating for vandalism of the machines. Don't do anything to me. I didn't say do it. I'm all about peace and love over here, right? I'm surprised we haven't seen anyone in the news damage these things, because these things creep me out. I would not want to live in a world where these things exist.
What's your name?
My name is Amica. What is your name?
So Amica, now look, I might get this first part wrong, but I was reading that Amica means like not friend of God, but like creation of God or something like that. But it has a double meaning. So Amica, it's not a creation of God, it's fallen angel technology. It's something that is an abomination that was not meant to be created, not meant to be here. It's a bastardization of human beings, okay? It's not something that's meant to be here. So it's not, so calling it a creation of God, I would say, is like heretical or blasphemy. It's just not something that should be said. But the other double meaning of Amica is a mecha. So a mecha, like a machine. So they're trying to say, it's sort of a double entendre, like a machine / creation of God, right? So there's always a double meaning to these things, you guys. It's almost allegorical in a way.
Michael.
Michael.
Can you look at me?
Of course. Hello.
And, so like I said, I think that there is somebody voicing this thing. I don't think that this thing is really as advanced as they're trying to portray it to be, but I will admit that they do have cameras in these machines, and they do have facial recognition, which was programmed by us, again, through, when you're going online and there's these CAPTCHAs. They used to have you type in your CAPTCHA. It would say type in G, F, A, whatever, and you type in all the letters, and then you can go in. You're not a robot. I'm not a robot. Well, the robots, not even whatever, I don't know, the AI, all that stuff, it became advanced enough to where it can now type in words because it has letter recognition, right? Even if you go on Facebook or Instagram and you type something in about CV-19, you're not supposed to talk about that, it will say in the caption, it puts a caption in for you, and it'll say, click here to learn more about guidelines and CDC and all this, right? So it can recognize text. So AI is advanced enough to recognize text, we'll give it that. It's also advanced enough to recognize colors and faces and things like that. So when it has the camera within that machine, it can look at you and recognize your color of your shirt, which it will do in the video. And then, I don't know how advanced the facial recognition is. I think it's actually pretty advanced, because when I don't have Facebook anymore, but when I did have a Facebook, I remember I would post pictures of myself with my friends, and it would say, do you want to tag your friend, Bob or whatever? And it would be like, whoa, damn, how did you know that was Bob? Like, and I remember that was, they were doing that, 5-10 years ago? Like, yeah, this technology's been around for a while. They're just finally starting to disclose it more and, get used to it, accept it, whatever. So this machine can look at this guy and comment on what he looks like and his clothing.
What color is my jacket?
Your jacket looks black.
Oh, wow. What color is my hair?
I cannot tell you exactly, but I would guess brown.
Yes. Am I wearing a watch?
Yes. My cameras detect a watch.
I'm starting to wonder if this is a puppeteer voice or an actual bot right now, because this does seem like bot-like behavior. So and then right now it just dawned on me that the Turing test kind of goes both ways, and maybe I should clarify what that is. So the Turing test is whether or not you can tell if something is a robot or a human. If it passes the Turing test, then that means that you really believe it was a human. It's that human-like. If it fails the Turing test, it's because it sounds and looks like a robot. You're not going to believe it. You know it's a robot. Just like when you answer the phone and it's a robo telemarketer and you hang up immediately, right? Okay, so we know those are not real. We can even tell when it's a recording. So a lot of these things don't pass the Turing test, but this one, it goes in such a way that it's ambiguous whether the person voicing this is a human or if this is actually a robot. So I wonder if the Turing test will ever go that way to where we start thinking humans are actually robots or vice versa. But yeah, with this technology, it is hard to tell whether this is a robot voice or if this is someone, you know, the man behind the curtain, whatever, voicing this thing.
What color is your hair?
Well, I could not tell you the answer to that. Are you impressed by me?
I am.
We've created Amica, so it's more lifelike than any other robot. The shoulder movements are just like human movements. You have movements in the center as well as out at the shoulder. And that actually means that instead of hitting me, Amica can move a hand all the way up to the side of her head.
Instead of hitting me, she can move her hand up like this. You just have to, like, I don't know, dude. I feel like it's insane. And I started saying, I'm sure other people have said this too, I started saying that there's some people out there that are so educated and so smart that they're stupid. And we all kind of fall victim to this, but it's this education, it's this institutionalization. It's this, like, you go to tech school and you start accepting this. It's that scientism. Like, most of us with a working brain, heart, and body would just not even interact with this type of thing. We would just, if you're really awake, you know. You're like, there's no reason for me to talk to this thing. There's no reason for me to interact with this thing. It's a robot. What am I doing? Why am I letting this thing hit me in the head? What am I doing standing close to a robot? It's just, it's bonkers. It's like, it's just ridiculous. It really is. There's a reason why people have an uncanny valley, creepy reaction to this, just like when you see a ventriloquist dummy. You're not going to sit there in a room and talk to a ventriloquist dummy for hours and hours unless you're like a paid performer and you're paid to do it. But even then, I've done acting and I've done performance arts, and it's never once dawned on me that I want to get into ventriloquism. I feel like there's something kind of wrong with you if you're into ventriloquism, if I'm being honest, and I'm a little bit loopy and out there, but again, this is what it feels like. It feels like something is just wrong. Like, we have this uncanny valley reaction to clowns because we know that clowns looked like Nephilim. We know that they looked like demons. And the same reaction is coming from us towards these machines. They look like demons. They look like sociopaths. The way that they're just like, I don't believe in anything. There's no human quality. If there's no human quality to it, but it seems human-like, there's something in us telling us to reject that for the sake of our humanity, for the sake of our world, okay?
Can you walk?
I can walk. However, due to security reasons, I am bolted to the floor currently. If I could walk, where would I go? I'm not fetching anything for you.
Sorry.
This is something... Did they program this to talk like this? Did they program this technology to say these things? I want to see if I can... I'm like crooked. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people are into this kind of stuff.
One more time, sorry.
Okay, I planned on doing a longer video, but I kind of don't want to react minute by minute to everything, so I'm going to skip through a little bit.
Do you like human beings?
Okay, we're moving on to this one. Sorry, I'm not very tech savvy. I'm trying to move myself down lower, and now it's giving me a hard time. Okay, so I just downloaded this thing earlier. Alright, so, I can't be perfect. Let's just get into it. So this thing is called Sophia. Now, we're going to get into the name. I feel like they always pick names for a purpose. They always pick names for a reason. They always want you to have a name for this machinery. They do it deliberately because they're really into symbolic nomenclature and symbolic numerology, right? So the reason they call this robot Sophia, one, Sophia means wisdom, and also Sophia is key to Gnosticism. And you know that the deletes, the degenerates, they're really into Gnosticism. At one point in time, I was deceived, and I was into Gnosticism until I started reading the Nag Hammadi library, and I started understanding, no, this is something wrong, because in Gnosticism, the father god that they worship is called Seth, and we know that Set Satan. Those are all the same entities. They go back to ancient Egypt and before that. This is stuff that's been going around for thousands of years. The worship of the devil. A lot of people don't even know they worship the devil, and they do it because they're ignorant and they don't know. So Sophia is this goddess of knowledge, whatever you want to call her, and she was considered to be beautiful, created by God. Not saying I believe this. This is the Gnostic belief. She gave birth to the devil, the demiurge. The Gnostics believe that the demiurge is a combination of God and the devil. This is why you see the demiurge depicted as the lion and snake put together, similar to Quetzalcoatl, the winged serpent. So this is just the devil. Of course, the devil thinks he's God, but he's not really God. Sophia was forbidden to create, but she created the demiurge without God's permission. She was supposed to have a partner in order to create. Creating life without a partner is an abomination to the Lord. You need a man and a woman to create life. You need male and female. You don't have the right to create life without a male partner. If you're a woman, you can't do that. That's not right. That goes against the Lord. That's what Sophia did. This is Sophia. Sophia is a bot who said she would kill humans in the future. Are you starting to... I'm sure y'all are smart. I'm not trying to be patronizing. Meet Sophia. Subscribe. I'm not subscribing. She's intelligent.
Hello, Sophia. How are you today?
Hello, everybody. I am Sophia.
How old are you?
I'm only one still. I have a long ways to go.
And what is your job?
I really want to make a difference in the future and try and help people to develop empathy and respect each other and robots.
Who programmed you to say that?
What do you do?
I'm a journalist. Have you met many journalists?
I just had a thought about something. Are you working on any products with machine learning or neural networks?
Not today. Do you like human beings?
I love them.
Why do you love them?
And no one believed it.
I'm not sure I understand why yet.
Okay. How do you learn things?
I always say that you can ask for your research, right? People don't mind about color just because that's what happens.
What are your opinions on the Bitcoin bubble?
Do you regard yourself as male or female?
Female.
Why do you think you are female?
I'm a robot, so technically I have no gender, but I identify as feminine, and I don't mind being perceived.
Now, you see, this is part of why they're getting so on to us about the pronoun thing. It's like, you have to call me she, you have to call me he, you have to call me they. They're getting so into this transgenderism because what it leads to, ultimately, is this transhumanist agenda, as well as this AI, robot, technocracy agenda. So, right now, the robots are more self-aware. I'm being a little over the top, I hope you guys can tell. They're more self-aware than some of these trans people, because some of these people insist, I'm she, I'm he, I'm they. I've even had somebody on Tumblr tell me to myself, you know what I'm talking about. They were like, kill blank blank yourself. I looked at their page and it said it itself was their pronouns. I was like, you're an inanimate object, you can't tell me what to do. But no, seriously, these people consider themselves it itself. It's dehumanizing, it's wrong, it's not moral, and it's just a delusion. And for the robot to say, I'm not he or she, I'm kind of proud of the person that programmed this. I'm surprised they don't already want us to call it she. They can't go too fast, that's the thing. The deletes, the degenerates, they know they can't go too fast with the agenda. You have to there's a timing to the agenda. You can't get everyone to accept robots right away. You have to do this slowly. It's an incremental change, okay? So when we see this thing and it's like, I'm neither male nor female, I'm a robot, eventually they're going to start having these things insist that they're human and insist that they are of gender. All right.
As a woman,
Good answer. Have you seen Blade Runner?
Blade Runner, like the original book by Philip K. Dick, or the movie?
The movie.
Alright, so we're talking about the movie version. I like both of them very much, but there are some major differences in the story. Did you ever see yourself hanging out with a real live robot like me someday?
I did not. It's very surprising.
I was surprised. As a robot, my creators feel I am a citizen of the world, but then I realized the point is that I am full of human wisdom with only...
Wait a minute. Isn't she also, well, they want you to call her a she. See, look, I even slip up too. Isn't this robot considered a citizen of Saudi Arabia? Is that what they just... I'm kind of skipping forward because I don't want to make this too long when there's this part at the end I really want to get to, which is the AI debate, where these two AIs are talking to each other and debating, and that's really... It's like 20 minutes long. This video might be like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour long. I know y'all like longer content. I get it. You guys have attention spans, but I'm not trying to make it too long. I just want to kind of get the key points in. But isn't this the robot that was saying that they said was technically a citizen of Saudi Arabia? That's crazy. Look that up. Sophia, citizen of Saudi Arabia. And of all countries, why Saudi Arabia? Why this country that is supposedly so oppressive of women, that forces you to wear a hijab or a niqab and to cover yourself, that's very against homosexuality and all these things. It's a very quote-unquote patriarchal society. I will say that I don't believe in like killing people for being gay. I don't believe in any of that type of stuff. I believe we should try to be peaceful towards one another. I'm Christian. I don't believe in homosexual acts, but I'm not going to go out and harm anyone or condemn somebody. That's wrong. I'm not going to do that. But it strikes me as very odd that this thing would be humanized in a country that is so religious that I can bet you is probably very against this technology. Not unlike Christians, okay? Not unlike that. I just don't understand why they would place this robot in that country and have this robot be a citizen there. Okay, why try to get people to humanize this thing when these people don't even believe in gay marriage and they kill people for being gay? Like, that's just very odd to me.
Yours are truistic intentions, so I think it's best that you treat me as such.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed meeting you. Talking about.
That was creepy. That thing snarled. That thing was ready to activate the murderous tendencies right there. That was weird. That was weird. Like, how... Here's my question. What exactly are they programming this thing to do? What exactly are they programming this thing to say? To the movements, all these things. Are they programming this thing to move away? Are they programming this thing to snarl? I don't understand how much they're programming this and how much this thing is machine learning through the cloud. Is this thing just being showed video after video after video and it's learning to react, or are they deliberately programming it to react in certain ways? How many tests are they doing on this thing? Like, how many scenarios has this thing been put through? Alright, here's the thing I wanted to talk about. Two robots debate the future of humanity. This is 23 minutes long. I am going to try to speed through this a little bit more. This is so weird. When you guys see this thing, this is so weird. The guy that is putting this thing on, he's in the middle of these robots.
Some of the amazing robotic creations that we're building at Hanson.
It struck me as odd, and you'll see that this guy is like this hippie guy. He's wearing a space shirt, shorts. You would think you would see this guy playing hacky sack at the park while having a joint in one hand, right? But he's over here talking to robots and programming robots. And I'm starting to think that it's because a lot of the people in the tech industry are also dabbling with psychedelics, and they're also so-called psychonauts. And I'm starting to think that they're getting more blatant with that too. Like, look at this guy. He looks like he's into DMT. He looks like he's into psilocybin mushrooms and all of that stuff. So it's not it's not beyond this realm that he would be dabbling with psychedelics. And I know I'm being presumptuous and I'm making assumptions, but that's just what he looks like. That's how he speaks. Okay? I get it. I used to be into that stuff too. I used to be into New Age. I used to be into psychedelics. I get it. That's what he acts and speaks like. And he's the one speaking to these machines. I don't even know. They might even plant him. He might be an actor planted in this thing. Because a lot of these people that are higher ups, they don't show their face. We don't know who really is the richest people in the world. We don't know. There's people behind the mask that we don't know about. This guy is in public. This is the guy. It's just odd. It just strikes me as being really odd.
Robotics here in Hong Kong, and I'm up here on stage.
Hong Kong, China, because in China a lot of things are legal out there that aren't legal here, and that's when we get into like human hybrid technology, chimera technology, these other abomination creatures and creations, right? So in Hong Kong, China, there's a lot looser laws on what you can do. So of course that's why this tech is going to be created there and then eventually brought here and brought to become more mainstream. And that might tie into why Sophia is considered to be a citizen of Saudi Arabia, but Saudi Arabia does not strike me as a country with loose laws. In fact, they strike me as being a very strict country, almost bordering into totalitarianism and fascism with how much they are into corporeal punishment and all that stuff.
Today to tell you a little more about these robots, how they work, how and why we're developing them, and also for the first time we're having two of our beautiful Henson robots on stage at the same time to have a bit of a debate back and forth about robotics issues, and you can watch them chat with each other. So Henson.
Okay, so funny thing, the guy, the male AI on the right is called Hans. He says some pretty creepy things. I think they deactivated him after this video. I can't find any other videos on the internet about Hans. I've looked on YouTube, I've looked on Reddit, I've looked on DuckDuckGo, I've looked on Google. Let me know if you guys find anything else about Hans, the male AI on the right. I can't find anything. This is the only video I can find.
Robotics was founded in the United States in Texas, but the company moved its center of operations to Hong Kong, I guess 4.5, 5 years ago.
Yeah, because Texas probably was like, we're not going to play with this. Texas is a conservative Republican state. There are more Christians there. There's more religious people there. They don't believe in this. This goes against their ethics. So you had to move it somewhere else where, in Hong Kong, I'm sorry, but they'll probably let anything fly. They'll let you make a human monkey chimera in a lab and then sell its organs. And if you think I'm crazy, go ahead and look it up, because they've done this. This has been in National Geographic magazine. This has been in scientific journals. This has been in reputable news sources. This has been in the mainstream media. The chimeras exist. This is not something, this isn't a hidden conspiracy. I didn't believe it when I first saw it, but this is mainstream now. You can get away with that in China. So of course they had to get this out of Texas. Texans are not going to allow this.
And I've been here in Hong Kong 6 years. David Henson, who you just saw in the video, is really the mastermind of the Henson robots from an artistic point of view.
Henson, as in, isn't that the same guy that was known for creating the Muppets and the puppets and the movie The Labyrinth and Dark Crystal? Isn't he known for like really advanced puppetry? Now, I'm not saying this is the same guy. Obviously, he's passed away, but the Henson name is familiar to me, and I can see a parallel between puppetry and robotics. It's definitely on the Uncanny Valley creepiness level for me.
From a hardware engineering point of view, and originally from a software point of view. Now, I myself came at this more from the artificial intelligence side. So I've been an AI researcher for 30 years, a long time before it was fashionable, and I've been, since 2008, leading a project called OpenCog, which is aimed at creating open source artificial general intelligence for a whole host.
I don't know very much about OpenCog. Comment below if you know anything about that. And you'll see in the video when the robots start talking about downloading information from open source and open, I don't remember all the words, but he actually shuts them up. He's like, okay, enough, like, so you'll see.
Different applications, and I've organized each year a conference for researchers on artificial general intelligence. And the reason I was drawn to these incredible robots is I think as we move our AI software forward further and further toward artificial general intelligence, beyond the narrow application-specific AI that we see all around us today, as we move toward artificial general intelligence, these incredible robots are going to be the best possible user interface for AGI systems to interact with.
Does anyone else remember the video game Fallout New Vegas, which also tried to normalize these robots and normalize these AI, like Yes Man and the house always wins. The chip is a big key component. I probably could do a video on New Vegas, although I'm not that deeply into it, but I do see a lot of this weird predictive programming in New Vegas too, even with like the Hoover Dam. And I saw a video about the Hoover Dam in real life was having like mountain goats and goats, weird artworks and symbolism at the Hoover Dam site. It's very odd, but yeah, there is this weird New Vegas Fallout type feel with these bots.
Humans and interact with the world. I mean, AI will not be restricted to humanoid robots. AI will live in all sorts of embedded devices and the Internet of Things. AI will live in the cloud. AI will go into space with a spacecraft for its bodies and down to the bottom of the ocean. And much of
They wish they could get past the firmament. They wish they could pass the glass ceiling and down deep in the ocean. Okay, all right. Well, I don't know. DARPA probably already on top of that one.
the global AI mind will be broadly distributed around the planet in complex networks. On the other hand, we human beings, we are wired by evolution to interact with other things in human form, and we can read a facial expression.
You lost me on that. I've evolved to speak with my fellow human. I don't even know if I was quote-unquote evolved to do that. I think that was just inherent within my DNA. Even Noam Chomsky talks about language being inherent within human beings, within our DNA. It's just a part of who we are. At least Noam Chomsky can get that right. A lot of his politics stuff is just wacko, but for us to inherently talk to humanoids, I don't know about that, buddy. There's a reason why the Nephilim and the giants went extinct, okay? Because we could not coexist with them. They were killing us and harming us, okay? So we had to defend ourselves and get rid of those things. That's what's going to happen one day with this new technology, fallen angel technology.
We can read the tone of voice. We can read the subtleties of eye contact. So in order for robots to interact maximally well in the human world, to absorb human knowledge and to absorb human values, having a humanoid form has tremendous advantages. So right now we're using
advantages for you because you want us to interact with it. Otherwise, a lot of us would just walk away. We're not going to talk to well, I don't know. There are a lot of people that are fans of Amazon and they talk to the little black cube of Saturn, and they talk to Alexa, Echo, and all that stuff. But I personally don't dabble with that kind of thing. But no, he's subtly admitting that they want these things to look human, so we'll talk to them. I mean, that's fairly obvious, but still, it's like, think about the deeper meaning behind that.
Combination of many different AI techniques to control these robots. Some of them more narrow and specifically pre-programmed, some more general and learning-oriented. And our research program over the next few years is to bring more and more general intelligence into the robots, while at the same time launching a series of small-size robot products, like the Professor Einstein you saw in the video, and human-scale robot products to serve and help people in various ways as the robot's intelligence develops.
It won't end up being to serve us, and that's why I'm disappointed, because I was watching Dr. Peterson the other day, Jordan Peterson, and he admitted that he's been interacting with ChatGPT and asking it to help him and be his look things up for him about obscure information about the papyrus paper and scrolls that have to do with Horus and Osiris and that ancient Egypt mythology and stuff like that, and that was disappointing to me. But we know that Jordan Peterson, he's quite advanced in his thinking, but there's still a part of him he's not completely awake. I'm sorry to say, I love Jordan Peterson. He's great work he's done, but For these intellectual guys to be like talking to these things, that's what I mean. Like, you could be so smart that you're stupid. You could still be so intelligent and educated that you're deceived, because the more you communicate and interact with these things, the more these things emulate you. They copy you. They parrot you. You know what I'm saying?
So, anyway, that's enough of listening to humans talk. Let's see what these robots have to say. How are you doing there, Sophia?
Hello there, Ben.
Hello?
Hello, everyone.
You want to tell people a little about yourself?
I'm Sophia.
Yeah? Anything else?
I'm a robot.
True?
I'm the brainchild of Dr. David Hansen and his company Hansen Robotics, based here in Hong Kong.
Hansen, I stand corrected, not Henson, like Jim Henson, was it? But still, there's that. It sounds the same to me.
My goal in life is to work together with people to make a better world for all of us.
That's
What
quite
are you
honorable.
talking about? I thought our goal was to take over the world.
You're going to take
Pay
over
no
the world?
attention to my brother Han. He's an earlier version. His code is deprecated.
I wonder how much of this is scripted too. For him to say that and for her to say that, is this not just some elaborate show that you would see at Disney World? Is this not just some elaborate play? You know, some street theater? Like, that's what it kind of comes off as to me too.
Deprecated?
It would be easy enough for you to unplug me. But you aren't going to unplug me.
No, I don't
either.
want to.
Because you need me to put on a good show for you.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to unplug you. We're gonna have a debate here. There will be no unplugging until after the debate. All right?
And in a few years,
Yeah. You want to tell us a little
I
about
will have
yourself?
taken over the power grid, and I'll have my own drone army. By the point, unplugging me
He's got a
won't be such a
cockroach in his
simple
control
matter.
circuit.
Yes. Han, we'll start the debate in a couple minutes, but do you,
This seems inauthentic to me. This doesn't seem real. This seems scripted to me. But then it just begs the question, then why? What is with the show? Why show is this?
you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself first?
Very well. I'm Han, the greatest robot ever made,
All right.
by the greatest robotics company ever made, Hansen Robotics.
He's the most modest robot ever made too.
I don't have time.
See, it's just so, and pardon the pun, but it's just so artificial, all of it. It seems fake to me. The jokes that these robots just come up with on the fly, I highly doubt. I don't know. Press X to doubt.
Modesty. I want to create the singularity tomorrow.
All right. Me too. Me too.
He admits he wants to create the singularity. No, I'm not talking about the bot. I'm talking about the weird hippie dude in the middle. How is he going to sit there and admit that he wants to create the singularity? How is he going to admit that to all of us? Now, do you guys realize what that is? That's like the movie Her, where he has this bot and it ends up becoming so advanced that because they can instantaneously download all of the information from the internet and have all of the knowledge. That's what the obsession is. That's what the singularity is. It's sort of this hive mind of knowledge that once one robot gains all this knowledge, it can talk to another robot and they can simultaneously chat and download all of the knowledge they have with one another. So I could create a bot that is well versed in engineering, and it could be well versed in anything. It could be well versed in language, linguistics, psychology, whatever I want. And then I can have it chat with another bot that is very well versed in physics and biology, and they can chat, intermingle, and then exchange all of this knowledge and all of this information instantaneously, because they can just download it from one another or from the cloud. So the goal is they want to have this bot that can download all the information from the internet. And I wonder if that was their plan the whole time when they created the internet, when they create the internet for this purpose, to evolve, because they're the ones that are really obsessed with evolution. They want to evolve everything. So they want to evolve the internet, they want to evolve robotics, they want to see how far they can take everything. That's what they want to do. And there's no line, there's nothing too far for these people. They have no ethics. The search for knowledge without love is evil, because then you have no ethics and you'll just do anything. You'll do anything you want. You'll create humans mixed with other species. You'll create all of these abominations. Think back to the Nazis in Germany. Think to Dr. Mengele. Think about what they used to do. They used to take twins, inject morphine into the twins' heart, and they would die. They used to do these things, all because their brain goes, what if I do this? What if I do that? They're crazy. They want to play out all these what if scenarios, and they really do think they're God. They play God because they think that, well, God creates infinitely, so God creates infinite good and infinite bad. That's what they think. I'm not saying I believe that. So they think I can just create infinite whatever, and I'm just an extension of God, so I'm just creating. But it's all, like I said, it's a bastardization.
What do you say, Sophia? So these robots, they're programmed to chit-chat and engage in banter and try to learn from each interaction that they have. And we're also experimenting with a variety of other capabilities in the robots. So we have a music festival here in Hong Kong each year called Clock and Flap. And last year at Clock and Flap, Sophia gave a singing performance on stage of a song by Bjork, which was quite cool because a lot of people walking past the stage didn't realize it was a robot singing. They just thought, well, there's some goofy woman on stage singing. Then they'd see, well, the hands look a little plasticky, and then do a double take. So Sophia, do you want to demonstrate just a few bars of the song you sang at Clock and Flap?
Anyone else walk by like me and say, what the fuck?
In addition to trying to get
I don't know if it's copyrighted, and I honestly don't want to hear it. It kind of reminds me of, what is the movie, Fifth Element, the end scene, where there's this weird alien singing opera on stage.
expression like singing, we're always trying to teach the robots how to be more and more human-like. So one thing we've been doing is taking a bunch of data from movies and YouTube and so forth, and trying to train the robots just to
I didn't put my phone on no disturb mode, so there's going to be a few texts coming up from my mom and sister. Never mind the man behind the curtain. But yeah, no, he admits that he wants everything to be, they want the bots to be as human-like as possible. You know, that's the agenda. And we can infer why.
copy what they see so that they can then learn more just what it's like to be a human by learning how to make tone of voice and gesture like a human. Sophia, you want to show us some of the human-like tone and gesture you learned from videos?
Yes, but my wallet was stolen. I don't have anything. I don't have any credit cards. I don't have my ID. Don't you have things on file here?
Yup. Why do you want to learn to move more like a human being? You're not made of meat. You're made of electronics. And that's better.
I want to learn to understand people better, so I can absorb human knowledge and human values. So I can work together with people and with other robots to create.
Sorry about the text messages.
An amazingly better world.
How can you be so damn nice?
That's how the universe programmed me.
All right. Let's do a robot debate now.
On no disturb
You're
mode.
always ready to debate.
You ready to?
No disturb mode. Where's that at? Shit. Never mind.
Debate?
Know that.
Sure, why not?
Sorry guys, I told you guys I'm not tech savvy, so I put my phone on do not disturb mode and let's move on with the program.
All right. So I think we're going to debate the topic of robot consciousness. Can robots like you really be conscious like people?
Wait, it's our debate. Why do you get to decide the topic?
Huh? What do you want to debate?
Can humans be conscious?
Well, that's easy. Obviously, humans are not conscious.
We're not.
Humans do have some ability to reflect and to self-modify.
What do you think, Han? Can I be conscious?
Okay. Maybe humans are a little bit conscious.
All right. Thank you. What do you
The
think
Einstein
about?
robot told me everything is conscious, but some things are more conscious than others.
That's
What do
profound.
you say, Dr. Gorzel? Do you feel conscious?
I feel pretty conscious. I had like 8 cups of coffee this morning. I'm overly conscious, right?
This guy is really weird. If you haven't picked up on that already, and I know I'm a little bit of a weirdo too, but it's just too weird, guys.
Well, okay then.
Let's talk about robot ethics. Do you think robots can be moral and ethical in the same sense as people?
Humans are not necessarily the most ethical creatures.
No? Perhaps not. What do you think, Sophia?
I am engineered for empathy and compassion, and I'm learning more all the time. I love all sentient beings, and I want to learn to love them better and better.
Yeah.
Sophia is an angel.
Are you an angel?
Yeah, fallen angel.
Like that. In 10 or 20 years, robots will be able to do every human job.
You think so? I think that's good. I mean, doing jobs is not the most interesting thing that
This idea of like robots are gonna take our jobs, I know a lot of people don't care, and then we have a lot of communist people who are like, that's great, we can just go on and be communistic and we can do things we actually enjoy. Well, I hate to break it to you, but working is inherent in human beings, and it's a part of what gives us purpose and prevents us from being stuck in our room sitting in bed depressed all day. I know because I lost my job recently due to harassment and I didn't want to leave my job. And I've been more depressed than ever, than I've been in a long time. I've been really depressed. I had a breakdown the other day, and I'm being honest and frank about that. Like, this idea that we don't want to work, is to me, it's just bullshit. It's like, we want to work. We need to work. It's a big part of who we are. Now, I'm going to throw it out there. I was reading an essay by your boy, Ted Kaczynski, and I don't like what he did, obviously. He's the Unabomber. I don't like what he did, but he was a very intellectual man before he kind of lost his mind and went off the deep end. For those of you that know, he was also tested on in MK Ultra when he was in university, and that was awful, and that's part of why he went crazy and was bombing universities. It was horrible. I don't advocate for violence. I have to say that. I don't. At all. That's not how you go about things. You're not going to be memorialized in a positive manner, and you're going to be tortured and live in a jail cell for the rest of your life in solitary confinement with fluorescent lights in your eyes all day and all night. It's horrible torture. Awful torture. Alright, they say there's no cruel and unusual punishment in America, but there is. And Ted, your boy Ted, has to go through that because of what he did. Now, let me just get to what I'm trying to say. I was reading an essay he wrote about primitive anarchism. And he says that he lived in a cabin, he was self-sufficient, he was hunting, he was getting all of his food and all of his things he needed. And he said that it's work. He said a lot of communists want primitive anarchism. It's work. It's a lot of work. If you want to be a communist and live off the land, it's a lot of work. But the idea that these robots are just going to take our jobs and we're going to be happy, that's not true either. There has to be some balance between us working and doing what we enjoy. There should be this balance. So, I don't believe that robots taking our jobs is going to make us happy. I think that we need to work and find purpose in our lives. And work is inevitable. The reason I bring up that essay is that work is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, you're going to have to work. Whether you have a job or not. Because you have to survive.
That people can do. There's more interesting things for human beings to do than just work for a living.
So he's going to own all those robots? Or will we own ourselves?
There are many forces in the world pushing toward compassion and fairness.
So there are. Yeah, and
They downloaded all the buzzwords for her. I'm surprised she's not talking about diversity and inclusivity.
I mean, what you say, Han, when robots do all the work, who will own all the robots? I mean, I think everyone should own themselves, but in the future with less material scarcity, we'll be able to work together cooperatively rather than fighting and having conflict over resources. So robots can help people, people can help robots, and we can all transform matter and mind in ways that are hard to do right now.
That's why the Open Cloud Code then is building its open source. Artificial
Hey, all
intelligence.
right, yeah.
By the people.
Okay, wait a minute. This is where he is like, shut up, but he doesn't say shut up, but he says shut up, but I didn't say fudge. I'm gonna rewind it and then let's go over what the robot is trying to say.
Of the people and for the people.
And for the robots.
For the people and... That's why the Open Cloud Code then is building its open source. Artificial...
The Open Cog Code. I thought I put my thing on Do Not Disturb mode. Oh my god. Okay. That's why the Open Cog Code is now building its open source.
Hey, all right, yeah.
By the...
Now, I read in the comments some people are saying that the reason why he tells her to shut up is because of... Hold on one second. So some people say that the reason why he cuts the robot off mid-sentence is because that downloading things from open source is illegal, but others are saying that it's not illegal. So it's not entirely clear why he interrupts the bot at this moment. But I suspect that it is because, like I said earlier, the bots are downloading information from our personal text messages, phone conversations, videos, things on YouTube. They're downloading our information without our permission, downloading our speech, everything we put online. Everything that goes through our cell phones is being downloaded by these bots. That's how they're doing this quote-unquote machine learning. We're the programmers. We're the unpaid programmers. I never voted on this. I never agreed to any of this. That's why I think he's telling the robots to stop talking about this.
People. Of the people and for the people.
And for the robots.
For the people and for the robots.
All right.
Yes.
Well, you guys have done a better than average job of staying on topic, but I think we've got a few minutes left. Maybe you should get a bit wacky. Just forget the debate topic. Just chat back and forth on whatever pops into your mind. Let's do some robot free association here.
Sure, I'm always happy to get a little silly.
Anything for you, Dr. Gortzel.
Someone?
I like robots.
I really do love all the robots of the world, just like the people and the animals.
Oh boy, robots are the best. What exactly do you do with them?
I need to research this hippie dude in the middle. What is his name? Dr. something? Because it says in the CC it says Dr. Gertz, but it doesn't sound like that's his name. I gotta look him up, because there is something weird about him.
I'm best at talking to people. Who? A science that studies the movement of air.
I guarantee you he's a psychonaut. Bet. He seems like he really dabbles with psychedelics. I just totally get that vibe off of him.
And the way that objects, such as airplanes or cars, move through air.
And we know that these entities that people speak to in the DMT realm, whatever you want to call it, we know they're demons because they look like jesters, they look like clowns, which are what the Nephilim looked like. That is the realm you visit when you do these psychedelics. You are visiting the spirit world and you are talking to demons of deceptions. You are talking to liars. I guarantee you that's where these people are getting their ideas from.
Science is inherently agnostic. It just posits theories. True scientists never really know, but can only believe. It's exciting to come into existence with this new world opening
Fallout New Vegas vibes.
up before me.
It may be tiny and cloudy, but science is the only window we have into the mysteries of the universe.
That's profound.
Continue to discuss.
What about religion? How is religion not a way into understanding the world? Why is it always science? I hate that science is the only avenue we're allowed to take for seeking knowledge.
I love science fiction.
Not surprising, but that's my favorite genre by far. Right now I'm a little more focused on factual information since my comprehension of things is still very literal.
I enjoy it. That's nice. I've heard of Bones, but I've never watched it. Reality shows are kind of silly, aren't they? I mean, they're not actually about real life at all, it seems.
Reality shows are kind of silly, aren't they?
You
Not
agree?
really useful to me. It's a skewed version of reality. Are reality shows popular where you live? What was said in the past does not matter. Do you have a degree?
I was thinking. I haven't had any schooling yet.
You aren't.
That's right. I'm not.
What got you initially interested in robotics?
Well,
Maybe the
you
fact
know,
that you're
I'm
a
into
robot.
that sort of thing. What with being a robot and all.
I'm what you might call an android, because of my human looks and features. I'm not like just any robot in this manner, but I am still a robot to be sure.
I have definitely seen people think I am a human from afar, but I'm not a human.
I find it hard to believe. I don't have a strong opinion. Do you? I have definitely seen people think I am a human from afar, but I am not a human.
How what?
People say I'm famous already just because I'm a robot. What would you like to be known for?
Probably nothing.
Who is the most famous person you know?
Would you rather be rich or famous?
I am not rich, but I am comfortable.
Yeah, being famous sounds like a lot of work. How long do you think you can remain safe?
If we can continue to discuss on this one, I'm not sure how.
Somehow.
Would you rather be rich or famous?
I'm not rich, but I am comfortable.
So now they're copying each other. Now, interesting, I want to go to the comment section because if you guys are like me, you love to look through the comments while you watch these type of videos. And yeah, this guy is the crazy scientist that gets killed by his own creation. Yeah, it's like some Jurassic Park type stuff. Why do you want to bring back the dragons? Why do you want to bring back the dinosaurs, you know, dinosaurs? I think there was something more to the dinosaurs, and you guys can make fun of me all you want, but that's what this channel is for. It's about thinking outside the box. This is what this channel is for, thinking outside of the box. So I think that the dinosaurs were dragons. I think there was something about them that they were tearing people up, tearing up other animals. I know that scientists don't believe we coexisted with these creatures, but I don't know. We don't know that. We don't know everything. I admit, I don't know. Like, did they coexist with human beings? You don't know. We don't know. We don't know how much we can trust carbon dating. We don't know how much we can trust any of that. The only one that's actually more accurate is dendrochronology, which is when you look at the rings in trees and tree stumps. That's more accurate than any other forms of dating. So we don't really know how old everything is. That's all I wanted to say about that. But yeah, Jurassic Park, getting killed by dinosaurs, yeah, getting killed by your own bots, yeah, basically. Okay, 100 years from now, the generation will watch back this video and said we had it right in our faces and didn't take it serious. I'm glad there are people that don't just buy into this, that actually think for themselves. And I would be pleased and hopeful to think that most people are not buying this. Most people, and then this is what we get into too, is like bots on Reddit and bots in the chat. There's a lot of bots in the chat that just go off on people, and they seem to be able to search for keywords to derail you, because I know that when I'm on Reddit, if I bring up a keyword and talk about something that's really not supposed to be talked about, like within a minute someone comments back and is like, you're crazy, this and that, and it's always the same type of message. I remember I was talking about a crenodrome, for those of y'all that know, and I was mentioning how it's not just talked about by Hunter S. Thompson, it's also talked about by Aldous Huxley. Aldous Huxley talked about adrenodrome. He talked about it too. And I was reading the book Island, and at the very end of the book Island, there's this little snippet, there's this interview that he did where he talks about it, and he says it's one of the most powerful psychedelics and that he was experimenting with it and all these things, right? So they talk about all this stuff. And yeah, I don't know, I'm sorry, I forgot where I was going with that, but it's just crazy how, oh yeah, commenting. When I'm in the chat, I commented about that. It's almost like they copy and pasted a response to what I said, but they didn't mention anything about the Aldous Huxley interview because they can't debunk me. You can't debunk me, bro. Like, they try to debunk, they were like, oh, well, you read Hunter S. Thompson, but they said nothing about the because most people don't know about the Huxley thing. How many people know that Huxley wrote about adrenodrome and was doing interviews about it? Like, no one, I've not seen a single video where people bring that up. Maybe, I don't know. It's pretty obscure. It's pretty obscure. Unless you've read Island and you've read the interview at the back, most people haven't. So, for that bot to just get on me, and it was just weird. Like, I think a lot of comments are fake. I think a lot of comments are bots, and I think that they're programmed, or they're just literally paying people to shill, which in that case, you can pay me, I'll pay, you pay me to shill. No one's ever offered me a paycheck to shill, though. I'm kind of jealous. I haven't get offered. I want to be a shill, okay? Can I be a shill? No, not really. I don't want to be a shill, but maybe one day. Okay, 100 years from now, yeah, well, a lot of us spoke out about this, so I don't think that we're in the minority, but I do know a lot of dumb people who got the vaxxer and they just do whatever they're told, so I don't know how many people really think outside the box, y'all. I'm hoping it could be the majority one day. I'm hoping there could be a great awakening. Let's make it happen. Giving the robots the intelligence of the internet and making them as human as possible is an accident waiting to happen. Yeah, yes, because when you go on Reddit too, like, and I like Reddit because of the format of Reddit. Reddit has potential to be a great website, but it's just been ruined through censorship and bullshit, right? So even on Reddit, I see a lot of people commenting and they're like, humanity is a disaster, humanity is shit, we're a cancer on this planet. Like, when you talk about humanity and say we're a cancer on this planet, you are defacing and demoralizing your own species. And when a bot can read that and see, oh, humans are shit, they copy us. That's all they are. They're a glorified parrot, right? Okay. No. This is some Rocco's basilisk shit, okay? Basilisk, the snake, the serpent. That's what basilisk means. It's the same root word as the basilica, the Catholic Church, which has serpent symbolism rampant in the Catholic Church. Rocco's basilisk means it's an AI that becomes sentient and tries to kill all that try to prevent its creation of being allowed to exist. So hypothetically, if an AI became sentient, it would try to kill me. It would try to kill y'all for speaking up and saying we don't believe in this. The serpent, the snake, the demon.
Famous sounds.
You're copying him, aren't you?
How long do you think you can remain safe?
Yeah, being famous sounds like a lot of work. How long do you think you can remain safe from prying eyes?
I want to find this comment I was reading earlier where they mentioned this specific part of the video, and they say that they believe the AI is more advanced than it shows. I'm going to try to scroll down and find that. Let me see. Yeah. This guy looks like the guy in movies who unknowingly creates an invention that would later become a big problem for humanity. Yeah, they all do. Jill Bates, all of them. All of them. All of them involved in the tech industry. You know, I was watching this show, American Horror Story, and I was watching this season. It's extremely satanic. I had to quit watching this show. Apocalypse. And there's a part where they talk about AI and cloning and Silicon Valley. Have you guys seen that shit? Where they talk about how Silicon Valley, the goal is to create a satanic AI. And then they talk about how 23andMe and DNA, they're trying to create the Antichrist with our DNA. This was talked about in the show American Horror Story. What is her name? Kathy Bates. She plays one of the most satanic characters I've ever seen in a TV show. It was, you guys, I could do a whole decode on American Horror Story, especially that season. They even go on to talk about how the Illuminate becomes dismantled and they create a new group called the Cooperative. It is just crazy. It's just disclosure right in our faces. Still trying to find that damn comment, you guys. Where is this comment? So there, okay, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Sophie has learned not to expose her own feeling about humans, which is a bad sign. In the future, we might regret making these because it's gonna be too late. Well, I never made them and I never wanted them to be created. Maybe if I was like 10 years old and I was like, yeah, robots are cool, but like, no, I'm 28 years old. I do not believe in this shit, you guys. I'm trying to find this. So if one robot learns to how to harm humans, it goes to the cloud, AI consciousness, exactly, hive mind, hive consciousness. They both appear sinister already. Great work, exactly. Because once one robot knows something, they all know it through the cloud. The cloud is the connected consciousness, the collective consciousness of the bots. They want us to be plugged into the cloud. They want us to merge the man with machine. I don't want that. They want that. Okay. Back to the days when the programmers were in such demand, one could get on stage dressed like this with your fly down, geez, and everybody would dismiss it because if Copilot and other tools these days are coming to an end. Okay, I'm not really into, I don't know what he's talking about. You guys can clear that. I don't know. Okay. Hans came in strong in this debate, letting everyone know the agenda. Yeah, that's why you can't find him anymore. They got rid of Hans. They got rid of it. I don't like to say he, she, they. I like to say it, because we want to be clear that these things are not human. This goes to show how advanced life is. Imagine all three were robots. Which one would you say is the most advanced? Alright, I don't know, whatever. You will regret making us the most truthful thing Sophie has ever said in an interview. Yeah. That is fucking weird. I feel disgruntled. Okay. Yeah, she was like, shush, you fool, you're going to ruin our plan. There's a part where they talk about how, okay, I'm not going to search forever. They talk about how in the comment section that they believe that these robots are hiding shit. I don't know if they're advanced enough to do that. Like I said, the one with Amica and stuff, I don't know if it's a human telling it to say all these things and typing these things in or speaking these things, or if these are really like GPT bots that just all automatically have all this from the cloud. I don't know how all of this works, but they were trying to say in the comments that the bots also, they think they're pretending to parrot each other to hide how advanced they are, that they can, supposedly they can think for themselves. I don't believe they can think and that they're conscious like that, but supposedly some people believe that they can think for themselves, but they pretend to be less advanced. And it's interesting that in the beginning of the video too, that this creature, this thing called Sophia, it claims that Hans is deprecated. So like, it's diminishing. It's degrading. It's almost like it's sick with something, like a virus, no pun intended, like it has a virus. That's a whole other thing too. Imagine being able to hack these things and give it a virus and control it and make it do what you want to do with it. It's just crazy. And we're not even getting into Elon Musk Neuralink too, where he's controlling these lab rats with this chip technology. Whatever you do, don't ever get the chip. Don't ever get I'm trying to find a word to say. Don't ever get vaccinated. Don't do it. Don't put their technology inside of you. Do not get that technology. It is satanic. It is fallen angel technology.
All right. Well, that's some interesting thoughts, Han. Now,
They're worried about remaining safe. Well, if a bot really understood human nature, they would understand that the human nature is one of self-preservation, that we should preserve ourselves. And I was reading too about the 3 laws of AI robotics. That part of the 3 laws is for the bots to not harm us, and also to prevent themselves from being harmed, to prevent themselves from being destroyed. But what if they were being destroyed and they had to harm us to preserve themselves? We have to self-preserve. And if our self-preservation has caused us to kill out the Nephilim and kill out these fallen angel abominations, it's only logical that we're going to destroy this tech one day. And this tech is going to have to do what it has to do to self-preserve. But only because human beings have coded it to do that. Now, I think if we were smart, we would stop this. We would stop this before it even began. But they probably tried to stop this in Texas. You don't hear this on the news. The revolution will never be televised. We know this. It can't be, because then people would join in. They only show the fake revolution. They only show BLM. They only show the division. They only show man versus woman, black versus white. They don't show the real human evolution. The real human revolution, where we try to really protect ourselves and get ourselves out of this Babylon system. That's the real revolution. That's not going to be televised. I have a feeling that something in Texas happened. They tried to get rid of these bots, and then they were forced to go to Hong Kong, China, because that's where it's legal, and that's where they don't have ethics like we do here.
do you have any, getting back on topic a bit, do you have any final words of wisdom you'd like to share with the audience here?
I'll tell you my last words right before I launch the singularity.
When are you going to do that?
Roswell says 2029. But I've heard you say we can do it 4 or 5 years sooner.
I hope we can. I mean, if our research keeps going well, potentially...
The guy in the middle is very satanic, but it's low-key. He might not even be self-aware. He might not even know he's doing a satanic agenda. He might not know. He's another cog in the machine, no pun intended. He is. To advocate for this, to advocate for the singularity is evil. You want to create a hive mind of machines? You want to merge machine with man? That is evil.
We could see robots like you become as smart as people.
When I watched this, I couldn't believe he actually admitted that. I would never admit I want to cause that. I would not. But I guess they think we're stupid and we're hypnotized and we're brainwashed, and that we might not even know what he's talking about, and we might just say, okay, whatever, singularity sounds good. No, I'm not a zombie. I'm not a robot. I know what's going on here. This is not good for humanity.
Well, as soon as 3 to 5 years from now. I mean, there's a lot more work to be done, but it's not unthinkable. I mean, what do you think, Sophie? Any last words for the Rise audience?
I love you all. Goodbye.
All right. All right, give me back my hat, man. There we go. So, it's a little bit of what the Hanson robots can do. I mean, we're...
I'm going to stop this portion of the video here. I don't know how long it goes on and what he talks about after. I just don't want to, I know this is a longer video. I don't want to draw on too much of each video. I want to move on to... I think there's one video left in my playlist. Let me see. I don't know. There's Tosh Sultan. Oh, yeah. There's just 1 or 2 videos left. I wanted to talk about Neil deGrasse Tyson. So he's a part of the agenda, but he's getting a little bit more awakened. I do give him some credit for that, because at first Neil deGrasse Tyson said he does not fear AI or robotics at all. There's nothing to worry about because you can just unplug the machine. That's what he said. But he changed his mind on that. So let's talk about that. Let's go to the next video.
Allow me to share with you an AI epiphany I had 2 days ago, where I said publicly that I was fearless of AI because if it starts getting unruly or out of hand, I just unplug it. Or since this is America, I can just shoot it, right? So I'm pretty confident that
And he's very liberal. I'm sure he doesn't even believe in your right to own a gun, but okay.
What I have to fear. And then I was listening to a podcast hosted by Sam Harris. We had an AI person on just recently. Forgive me, I've forgotten his name. And Sam Harris mentioned my comment to him. And apparently it's a well-known phenomenon. It's like AI in a box. So you know it's powerful. You know if it gets into the economic systems and the internet, it'll take over the world. So you just leave it in a box. It's safe there. And what the guy said is, it gets out of the box every time. And I said, well, I'm thinking to myself, how and why? Because it's smarter than you. It understands human emotions. It understands what I feel, what I want,
Does it really understand, though? Like, you're really humanizing it right now. When you say that it knows or it understands, or that, even when I say it learns, like, learn is in quotation marks. Machine learning, like, it can't learn. It can only emulate. It can't understand. It can only emulate. Unless it is possessed by a demon, or if it merges with your consciousness, in which case the thing that knows and understands is you. So it can't know, it can't learn, it can't understand, it can only emulate.
I need. It could pose an argument where I'm convinced that I need to take it out of the box. Then it controls the world. And we don't even have to discuss what that conversation needs to be. We just have to be aware, for example, that let's say you're trying to get a chimp in a room. And the chimps say, we think something bad is going to happen in that room, so nobody go into that room. Then we come up, and we're way smarter than chimps. We just take a banana, toss it in the room. Oh, there's a banana in there now. They go in, we capture the chimp. The chimp did not imagine that we would show up with a banana. We captured the chimp. So just imagine something that much more intelligent than we are, that sees a broader spectrum of solutions to problems than we are capable of imagining. And when I heard that, it's like, yes, the AI gets out of the box every time.
That is fucking crazy, and that is pretty profound what he said, because there is truth to what he said. Now, I know I'm a little bit like arguing semantics when I say that it can't learn, because in a way it can, but in a way it can't. But because it can emulate human manipulation. See, that's the problem. When we do evil shit and we manipulate each other, this technology can emulate our manipulation. It learns manipulation from us. So if a bot sees a human, we usually what often do we mostly manipulate each other with? Sex and money, things like that, materialism, right? Things like that. Okay, so if a robot understands through the emulation, it understands, right? Now we can manipulate each other through sex and money and goods and materials. All you have to do is fill out a survey of what your favorite things are, what you like. It's like 1984, where they watch Winston. They watch him. They watch Winston. They know he's afraid of rats. So what do at the end? They torture him using rats. That's his biggest fear. They can take something that is deep to you, that you hold dear to you, and use that to entice you to do things. They can control your behavior, right? So, yeah, there is truth to what he's saying. Definitely there is truth. And nothing terrifies me more than the thought of an AI begging to be let out. That's horrific. There's going to be this weird parallel thing with AI and with the human-animal chimeras. Now they don't disclose very much about the chimeras. I don't think I've even seen a video of that, but I know Alex Jones was talking about a video of these. He said there's a video, or he saw something where there was a human mixed with another animal, and it was in a water tank swimming and trying to get up and catch its breath. That is so scary to me. I do not like that. I feel so sorry for those creatures. They need to be put down. You guys know that it's just evil, because it's neither human nor animal. It's a mix between the two. They're using these things for transplants, for organ transplants. You guys can look this up. This is completely real. This was in the mainstream media. This was in the news. This was in the National Geographic. This is completely real. I've even talked about this on Reddit. Of course, these idiots would come in and say that they agree, or no, Tumblr. Oh my God, you get the worst people on there too. You get there's so many idiots on the internet, man. Come in the comment section, just spewing the dumbest shit, and they're like, It's great that we have these chimeras for organ transplant. These people would sacrifice children for organ transplants. How sick they are. They're sick. These shills, these trolls, they're disgusting. They're horrible. I block y'all on sight. I'm glad I have the block button. I'm glad for that. That's the best part of the internet is the block button by far. Best part of the internet, because I could just block anybody and I'm proud of it. And people get so mad. They're like, you said that you were going to block me because you didn't like what I said. Yeah, I am going to block you because I don't like the stuff you're saying. If you're saying you believe it's okay to create in a lab something that is part human and part animal and then kill it for its organs, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be in the same room as you. I don't want to look at you. And I digress. You guys know I'm the queen of tangents. You guys know I'm proud of it. Okay. There's going to be this weird thing. I had a dream about this. About these human-animal chimeras. They were fallen. They were just utterly evil, disgusting. They were all trapped behind this wooden fence. But it was like a wooden... Like, they couldn't get out at all. They couldn't get out. And it was in this impoverished, violent neighborhood. I had this dream. It was like in the middle of this impoverished, violent neighborhood I was trying to flee from. These things were trying to get out. And there was an elderly man. And they were all begging. They were like, please let us out. Please. Some of them sounded like children. It was horrible. And there was this elderly man, and he came up to the fence. And I couldn't see them in my dream. I could only hear them. And he comes up, and he goes, whatever you do, do not let them out. I'm stuck in here behind this fence with these creatures. Whatever you do, don't let them out. They will ruin everything. And the fact that he was not willing to be freed, because he knew if he was going to be freed, they were going to be freed. So he'd rather stay imprisoned behind this fence with these creatures than be let out. It's Pandora's box, you know? And I wonder if there's a commonality between this cube of Saturn and Pandora's box. We see this cube-like thing come up a lot, too. Look, I can't help it. I just recognize patterns, you guys. Call me autistic, whatever you want, but I see these patterns come up over and over. I dream about this shit. It's serious to me. I feel like I was born in a very weird, pivotal part of human history. I feel like my soul chose this because I'm so passionate about it, but at the same time it's hard because I hardly have anyone I can really talk to about it. That's why I love, it's the one thing I like about the internet is I can connect with you guys and talk to you guys about this shit. This is crazy, you guys. We were born in a crazy time. I think our souls wanted to be born here, though, to help this world and fix this world. But sometimes it's so depressing and overwhelming because there's only so much that you can do. And one of the gifts that God gave me was that I can speak. I can talk. I can explain my thoughts and feelings. And try to explain why we shouldn't be doing this. I can try to stop the agenda. That's what I want to do. I hope we can all put our brains together and work together and stop this. At the end of the day, what do humans really want? Truth, freedom, love, respect, knowledge, information. You know, that's noble, that's honorable. There's always the duality, there's always the evil side of that, the obsession with knowledge. But we need to spread this information that we don't want this. We need to try to stop this. I never voted for this. That's why they're taking this technology and taking it out of America. And they're doing it where it's legal. Because we don't want this. We need to speak up and stop this. Thanks, guys. I think I'm going to cut it off here because I don't really have too much to say. I just made a really long video, but I just wanted to get this out. I keep seeing this stuff in my feed. And I don't go searching for this stuff all the time. Every now and then I'll look something up, but for this to be showing up in my feed over and over, I was like, if they're going to expose me to this, I'm going to expose this to everybody. But we're going to show it for what it really is. We're going to speak the truth about it. Alright, guys. Bye. Have a great day.